Psychology research studies have shown that psychotherapy to help someone suffering from grief over the loss of a loved one has had little or no positive effect. Grief is resistant to the standard psychotherapy procedures. However, a revolutionary new psychotherapy method now being used by nearly 100 psychotherapists reduces grief dramatically in a single psychotherapy session. It is repair and reattachment grief therapy. In repair and reattachment grief therapy, the psychotherapist uses a technique called bilateral stimulation to bring the grieving person into a state of mind in which the person perceives a connection with the deceased. 98% of the clients who go through the repair and reattachment grief therapy procedure perceive such a connection. During this experience, clients report that they feel they have received messages from their loved ones that reassure them the person is okay, just in a different form. The developer of the method is Rochelle Wright, a Washington State licensed psychotherapist with over 25 years' experience in trauma therapy. Rochelle is a licensed mental health counselor, licensed chemical dependency professional, national certified counselor, EMDR certified therapist, and designer and psychotherapist of the repair and reattachment grief therapy method. Rochelle describes the grief therapy method.
The work that I do is it helps people connect with someone who has passed on that they would like to speak with or like to get some messages from. And whether it be their spouse, their child, even their infant child, their father, their mother, their friend, anyone that they would really like to connect with. And they don't necessarily have to have a lot of sadness. However, most people have a lot of sadness around it. And so I do target that sadness. And during the session, the sadness is reduced, is just greatly reduced. That's the minimum that happens in a session. So what I do is that I do bilateral stimulation, which means it engages the right and left brain. And I use audio with an audio headset, a tape that they listen to for the entire process. The process takes 4 to 5 hours. Of course, we do take a lunch break, but it lasts 4 to 5 hours. And that one session is all they need. They do not have to come back.
Carol is an example of the results of the repair and reattachment grief therapy method. She came to Rochelle in grief over the death of her daughter, Kate. This is Carol's description of what happened during the repair and reattachment grief therapy session with Rochelle.
Immediately as my session began, I had headphones on and music playing and was following Rochelle's instructions. My daughter Kate came up in my head. The best way to describe it was my eyes were closed and the visual right away was on the left side of my mind. Kate appeared coming down a sidewalk, and like I said, it was on my left side. There was a wall and it was beautiful. There was ivy growing out of it and a big old tree. Kate started walking towards me, and it was amazing to have this. I was sitting there with my eyes closed, literally looking at my daughter, Kate, walking towards me. As she walked towards me, she put her hand out, and I was able to put my hand out and feel hers on mine. I was able to feel her fingers, also to hug her and to stroke her hair. She was wearing a t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops like she did when she was alive and she was here on earth, and it was amazing. She led me down the sidewalk and we walked, and she was talking and I couldn't understand what she was saying, but it was just truly amazing that my daughter was literally, I was right there with her, other than to say that it was real. We'd held hands, I hugged her, I stroked her hair. It was truly amazing.
Gary is another example. He came to Rochelle in grief over the death of his mother. This is his description of how the repair and reattachment session affected him.
It really left me in a way, still contemplating what she said. Probably the most significant and important thing that she said was she said that there isn't any separation, and she used the word separation, between life and death. And I thought that's strange. One of the things when she said that I felt a sense of peace and joy and very comforted. I really felt very good. And so that was, and then there were all these magnificent colors, and I saw plants. It was very psychedelic in a sense, and very peaceful. And she had said that how much she loved me and the family, and continued to love us after death. And so I thought that was pretty powerful.
Lori's husband, Larry, died suddenly, leaving her in profound grief. This is her description of the effect of the repair and reattachment psychotherapy session on her.
I had all my questions were answered. He let me know that Luke will be Luke, and no matter what I do, Luke will be on his path and I will be on mine, and the rest of my life is for me, and to be joyous and don't grieve, and that when this is over, we'll be together again, and I know this in my heart. And so it helped me know that that's waiting for me, and that I don't have to be so serious of making a mistake with something. He got to counsel me again. I would have given all I had for just one day with him, and I ended up with precious minutes that answered my heart's questions. And I still love him to this day, and I always will, and I know that we will be together again. This is a gift to the world, that we can reach the other side, if not for a whole day, for just a few minutes, to heal our hearts and to tell us that death is not a permanent situation, and to re-feel that love. I literally felt him hug me, and I relived the most horrible memory I had from his point of view. I know where he was in that room. He was watching me do the CPR. He was up in the southwest corner of the room, looking down and feeling some of my pain and anguish, and wanting to comfort me then, but he couldn't. But I got through that, and now I don't have those same horrible feelings of suffering and pain. I see it as what was actually taking place from 2 dimensions instead of just one. And it gave me a new lease on life, that my life is not going to be about death. And it's going to be about joy and love.
Nearly 100 psychotherapists around the world are now trained to administer the repair and reattachment grief therapy method.